Welcome to Spiral Back Review. This is the 8th grade question, number 4 out of 5. During a storm, a 500-liter tank is completely filled with rainwater. After the storm, the water begins to evaporate. The volume of the water decreases by approximately 2.6 meters each day. All right, well, that makes sense to me. If it is first completely filled, so that's important, right? So we know it began with 500 liters, that's important, and it loses 2.6 every day because it's evaporating, so it's going to decrease, which means that's a negative slope. So not only am I underlining, I'm going to make a few notes to myself so that I remember when I go to write. Looks like I have to write an equation. So write an equation to model the relationship between the volume of the water in the tank and the number of days the water has been evaporating. Be sure to define the variables. Okay. I'm going to let D equal the number of days the water, I'll make fancy there, H2O, because this pen takes up a little bit more room than your pencil would. Water has evaporated from the tank. That's pretty specific, and that's because the more I can talk about how the connection is, right, or the relationship, the way I'm modeling the relationship is important. Again, I think you would have enough room on your paper with a pencil. I'm going to come down here because I'm going to define volume. So I wanted to define volume and days. So there's my 2, so V, and that's going to stand for volume. Of course, you could choose different letters as long as you define them. That's the volume of water remaining in the tank after evaporation. Okay? Now we need to write an equation. So we just said that volume equals the amount of water after evaporation. So it started with 500 and it loses 2.6 a day. You could, a lot of people might write it this way: volume equals negative 2.6 D plus 500. That order doesn't matter as long as you got that negative right on that 2.6. All right, part B, what are the slopes and the y-intercept, and what do they represent? Well, slope in our situation, right, slope is just the number piece, so we just put negative 2.6. We don't write D with that. Slope is just the coefficient. And this represents the daily rate of the water evaporating. .6 liters per day. You want to make sure you put that in per or each day or anything like that. Our y-intercept, again, is just a number, and it's 500. And this is the initial amount of water I'm going to put liters. It's the initial amount of water in the tank before evaporation, which before evaporation would mean initial also. So as long as you got the initial amount or before evaporation or the amount before, things like that that say it's where it began. Okay, we had 500 in our tank, 500 liters of water, and then every day we lose 2.6, so that water is going down. What is the volume of water in the tank 20 days after the storm ended? So you always go back to your equation that you wrote. This is what's neat about an equation in the real world. You just set up an equation and you're all set to answer any situational questions. So we know it's 20. So the volume equals, we're going to take out our handy dandy calculator here, minus 2.6 in a day 20. So we're going to substitute in 24D. D equals 20, so we're just using substitution. So volume equals 500 minus 52, which is 448 liters. So volume equals 448 liters after it's been evaporating for 20 days. It's time to try one on your own. Okay, so blow this up a little bit while I read it to you here. Amy works in a sandwich shop. She prepares roast beef sandwiches using slices of roast beef from a container. The graph shows the relationship between the number of slices in the container, Y, you can even read that yourself on the axis, and the number of sandwiches made, X. So construct a function similar, right, to that equation. Fancier way to write that. And again, you're talking about the slope and the y-intercept. You're going to come back here in part C and D. It talks about making a table with your information. You just wrote an equation or a function. Okay? And then you're going to see, what if the sandwich price is $7? Okay? So you're going to answer at part D. Make sure you show all your work. Just rewind back to part A and B and pause it until you're done. And have a good day.